Hello students, welcome to the second part of the poem Background Casually by Nissim Ezekiel. We have already tell, no, we have already dealt with the first part of the poem, and I have also discussed a couple of points like how the question deals with the question of identity, diaspora, and other things. Right. Moving to the next part, 22 time to go abroad. Right now the poet has achieved a kind of maturity, and now he is 22 and he is entering into higher education, and he wanted to go to abroad, but he was poor, and so it was difficult for him to fund for going abroad, and that's why this was a decision that he has taken to go abroad, and then a friend to pay the fare, and then he has managed to find a friend who could pay his fare to go abroad, and of course for studies, right? So this is a kind of a point in his, it's also a Bildungsroman that we have already talked about. So this is a education is one of the points of Bildungsroman where the character is introduced into the education system, right? So, however, for a person who is a marginal coming from a very modest background, it is difficult to fund and to feel good at studies, right? But he was good at studies, and his friend had paid his fare to go abroad, right? Philosophy, poverty, and poetry. Three companions shared my basement room, right? And he says, throughout my education at the foreign land, of course, in England, there were three companions that he had: philosophy, poetry, and poverty, right? Of course, he was quite philosophical. I mean, he could have studied philosophy as a subject, right? And poetry as a subject, maybe major. And then, since he could not manage good funds, he was quite poor. So poverty was his constant companion throughout his education, right? So that's why I said they have shared his basement room the entire time of his studies. The London seasons passed me by. That means he has passed these seasons, I mean 2 years out there in London educating himself. I lay in bed 2 years alone, right? Means he could hardly manage to get friends, but there were three friends constantly along with him: were philosophy, poetry, and poverty, right? And then a woman came to tell my willing ears I was the son of man, right? So he is talking about a mysterious woman that could have entered in his life and had told that you have guts, you have potential, right? So that he is not uh, you know disclosing much about that woman, who that woman was she her beloved, or who maybe a friend or somebody, but the person could have inspired him, could have pushed him, and then made him feel confident that he had certain kind of guts. I knew that I had failed in everything, a bitter thought, right? And as you see that since his very childhood, he could have not been a very talented, very good kind of person who could do better things, right? But that's why he constantly had a bitter thought in himself, and that is he had failed, always failed in everything, right? So somehow he had finished his studies in England, and now it was time to the uh, go back to the country, that is India, right? But now again he didn't have funds to go back to India, and that's why what he did was that, so in an English cargo ship taking French guns and mortar shells to Indochina, scrub the decks, means he had taken up a job to scrub the decks on a ship that was moving from England to Indochina and supplying certain kind of French guns and mortar shells, right? So he had got up a very lowly job of cleaning the decks of the ship, and learn to laugh again at home. And this is the way he could manage to get to home. Now the question is, he learned to laugh again at home, right? Home he is calling to the country India, right? So this is a very complex relationship. On the one hand, he is a Jew. He doesn't belong to India. He has maybe have migrated from different parts of the world, coming to India, and this is second home. But somehow he seems to be belong to be belonging to that particular place. That's why he has used the term home, right? So it's a little, there is a very complex relationship between the country, that is India, and Nissim Ezekiel, and this is precisely what he's dealing with in the entire poem. But at times when he calls it home, somehow he seems to internalize this fact that India is my country, right? How to feel it home was the point. This is a very important point in the entire poem, right? This is how to feel it home. Now the question of identity, he puts up a question of identity, how to feel it home. Though I'm calling it a home country, but am I feeling at home, right? Do I belong to that particular place? This is precisely the question that he is dealing with, right? It's an autobiographical poem, so this is a major question that he is dealing with, how to feel at home. Though he has framed this question in a different manner altogether, it directly doesn't say that what is my identity, but the experientiality that he's talking about, the experiences, how he's feeling at home, that means India, or how Indians are making him feel at home, right? Was the point, right? Some reading had been done, but what had I observed except my own exasperation? You're trying to find out through reading as to how he's feeling at home, but that didn't materialize, that didn't come out in a nice manner. Rather, he was exasperated, right? Nothing came out. All Hindus are like that, my father used to say, when someone talked too loudly or knocked at the door like the devil, right? So his experiences with the Hindu boys, Hindu people, as his father too had, is not good at all, right? They are too loud, they are like devil that he is quoting, right? When someone talked too loudly, right, or knocked the door like the devil, this is precisely his experience has been with the Hindu people in India, right? So they could have very violent, they could have been too loud or something, so he couldn't well connect with those Hindu people, right? They hogged and spat, they sprawled around, right? These are the major characteristics that he could find with Hindu people out there, and that's why he find it difficult to mingle with these people. Now the next stage that he's talking about, I prepared for the worst. And what was that worst? Married. He got married, right? So now he's looking for at the different kinds of experiences, different kind of institutions which may make him feel it's like an immature boy who's trying to find out certain kind of solace, certain kind of calmness somewhere or the other in different kind of institutions. So studies and other things could have been, maybe he thought that marriage could work and it might provide him certain kind of happiness, certain kind of solace, etc., right? So he did that, married. He also changed jobs in order to find out that happiness that he was looking forward, and saw myself a fool. But somehow all those tricks, all those kinds of uh, kind of trying at different kind of institutions didn't work out, right? And he couldn't find out that happiness, couldn't find out that solace, etc., in his either marriage or changing jobs, etc., right? The song of my experience sung, right? Now I know that all was yet to sing, right? So somehow he could get nothing but certain kind of experiences out of those things, right? Now he's looking at his own ancestors. He says, my ancestors, who were they? Among the castes were aliens crushing seeds for bread. The hooded block made his round. So they were very modest kind of people. They could have been farmers out there. One among them fought and taught. One of my ancestors could have been a soldier, right? He could have fought and taught, could have fought and then could have taught the other people. Taught about what? A major bearing British arms. He told my father sad stories of the Boer War. He could have taught certain kind of sad stories about the war and his own experiences that he had during the Boer War. Now what? I dreamed that fierce men had bound my feet and hands, and those stories were so powerful that he could feel, he could dream that somebody could have bound his feet and hands. the later dreams were all of words, right? But all those stories, all those experiences could have given him certain kind of maturity, right? And they were now flowing in the form of words. Means now finally he has started writing poetry. The later dreams were all of words, right? I did not know that words betray, but let the poems come and lost their grip, that grip on things the worldly prize, right? And he doesn't care whether he's going to get something out of it or doesn't get, but he just want to write about whatever experiences he had, right? I would not suffer that again. I look about me now and try to formulate a plainer view. Now, a certain kind of maturity that he has achieved by different kind of experiences, and finally settled down to compose certain kind of poems. And the final formula that he has formulated, a plainer view, is that the wise survive and serve, right? So somebody need to be wiser for surviving and to serve, right? To play the fool, to cash in on the inner and the outer storms, right? And the inner and outer storms are not to be, played with like a fool, but to encash it, right? That means whatever inner storms that you have, they must be poured out in the form of a poem, right? So you see, precisely, you see the before that particular point, he has been struggling to accommodate with the inner and outer storms, right? So it's a kind of a conflict that he was going on throughout the poem, but now he has settled down. He says that the conflict is not to be worried about. The conflict is to be made certain kind of in a positive form, and that must come out in a form of a poem, right? So he's using conflict as a creative energy, right? So finally he has settled down that you're not supposed to worry about the inner and outer storms, rather in order to use them to write poetry as well. The Indian landscape sears my eyes, right? So earlier you see that here he had certain kind of a conflict of belonging to the question of identity with Indian landscape, but now it's no more. It sears my eyes. I have become part of it. Now by being mature, he could learn that now he's part of India, right? Not necessarily somebody who is in tune with the Indian consciousness could become the part of India. Somebody who is at conflict with the with the Indian landscape can also be part of India at the same time, right? And of course, this is the beauty of our country, right? Some kind of secular image that it carries, right? So it sears my eyes. I have become part of it, to be observed by foreigners. They say that I am a singular. Their letters overstate the case. I have made my commitments now, right? The other people could have isolated him and pointed out that since you are a Jew, you are isolated person, you are singular, you do not belong to that place, right? But they are overstating the case, right? The foreigners are overstating the case, as per Nassim Ezekiel, right? He says that I have made my commitments now, right? And what is that commitment? That I belong to India. This is one, to stay where I am, right? He is not struggling to go back to Israel or to other places, and he didn't feel that he's an expatriate or something or the other, right? He says that I have made my commitments and I see that this is my country, India is my country, and this is a place where I belong, to stay where I am. As others choose to give themselves in some remote and backward place, my backward place is where I am, right? People could have been looking forward to different places as their own home. I am looking, though, despite the fact that this place India may be called a backward place by somebody, but this backward place is my own, right? So here you see that certain kind of post-coloniality is indicated towards the end of the poem, and that is, it's due to this entire post-colonial discussion and discourse that was prevailing at that time, where England was, or the European centers were recognized as the places which are quite forward. India was looked at the backward place. But he says that I have deliberately chosen India to be my place, right? So I belong to this place, and I am. So now he seems to resolve this entire conflict that he was undergoing since his childhood, whether he is an Indian, what is his identity, and so on, and finally settled down that he is an Indian, despite the fact that his religious identity is quite peculiar, which is a very minuscule minority in India, right? But he has accepted this particular fact that he is an Indian and India is his place, right? Students, if you have any doubt regarding the poem, go through it uh, line by line, and if you have any doubt, you can mail me, call me, or WhatsApp me anytime. Thank you.